the Roman authorities. And guess what they're going to do once they find out that you are openly claiming that Jesus rose from the dead?
Kill you.
Yeah, that's the point. So, I would say that maybe it's possible they're making this up for attention, but quickly they're going to recant that. They're going to go back on their word, because the second they're faced with torture, imprisonment, being killed, they're going to be like, oh, well, I was just messing around. I didn't actually see him. But the point is that this group of people have zero motivation to make this up. They're not getting rich off that message. They're not. No one's going to be like, oh, let me sign you to a book deal. Let me put you on TV. That actually didn't exist back then. Let me put you in a power position because you claim that Jesus is resurrected. Literally, they're not getting famous. They're not getting powerful. They're not getting rich. They're not getting a girl. They're not getting a guy for this message. They're not. Which means that they're probably telling you the truth. Now, you might say to yourself, well, I hear what you're saying. It's the same message that you said with Jesus being a liar. It's a convincing argument. It has weight to it. But this is still part of the Bible. How do we know that the Bible isn't just making this up about itself? How do we know we can trust the Bible, what the Bible is saying? And this leads into the conversation that we will continue today. One last reminder, this portion of Scripture here, the memory verse is not tomorrow. It's Friday. I pushed it back a day because I didn't start talking about this until yesterday. So I want to make sure that you have plenty of time to memorize it because it is longer. So no memory verse quiz tomorrow. The memory verse quiz is on Friday. Okay? Please don't forget. Let's transition into the textbook then. Let's turn to page 66. I'm sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself. Page 61. Page 61. Case for Christ, page 61.
Telephone, please.
Yes. We will play the game telephone twice, okay, as an illustration.
Today?
Yeah, most likely today. We're going to play the game telephone, not right this second, but the game telephone is an illustration of a point being made in this chapter. Let me make the point first, and then we'll play the game. The point being made here, let's review. I think we already got to this point, but where do we leave off in the rows here? Who was the last person to read yesterday? Abby?
So it's Jack.
Are we going this way or
Yeah,
this?
it's Jack.
So it's Jackie's turn?
Okay.
Jackie, can you read the very bottom of page 61 and it leads into page 62 there?
So the amazing?
Yes, that's it.
The amazing thing is that they say the same thing. You'll find some variations in the spelling and stuff like that, but 99.5% of the manuscripts match up. Undoubtedly, the people copying the New Testament made some mistakes as they wrote. But unlike the telephone game, where half the fun is making mistakes, these guys are serious about their work. After all, they considered these documents to be sacred. The variations between the manuscripts, in the end, have turned out to be as minor as a few typos and a few insignificant words in an entire Sunday newspaper.
Thank you very much. There's a lot of really, really important information built in this one paragraph. Let me pick it apart. Make sure you get this. I want to make sure you understand this moving forward. This is one of the most important points made in this entire year, honestly. This point right here. If you're okay underlining or starring or highlighting this, I would highlight this paragraph here. First off, what I need to remind you of is, in the ancient world, they had copies of the New Testament. What are those copies called? Ancient copies of the New Testament are called manuscripts. How many, according to the textbook here, roughly how many ancient copies exist of the New Testament?
24,000.
24,000 copies. And that number, if you're understanding this correctly, that should astound you, that should amaze you. Because what this is saying is, in the ancient world, there's nothing that even compares to this. Literally, nothing. Pick a religion, pick a teaching, pick a teacher, pick an author, anything written in the ancient world, right? There are far, far fewer copies of every other ancient source compared to the Bible. The Bible has the New Testament. The New Testament has an infinite number, not literally an infinite, but a vastly larger number of copies than every other ancient document. What should that tell you? about the ancient world and the Bible itself. My question to you is why? Why would there be such a much larger number of New Testament copies than any other, literally any other book of any other topic? Any religion, any political, any historical, anything. Why are there way more copies of the Bible, Abby?
Because it's important. So they wanted to keep it alive.
Bingo. So what I'm saying to you is this. If you're currently in your seat and you struggle with thinking the Bible is boring, the Bible is lame, the Bible is dull, it's not relevant, it's fairy tales, if that's where you're at, what I'm trying to get you to see is the ancient world did not believe that at all. The ancient world saw the Bible as extremely relevant, extremely important. Nothing could be more important than the Bible. Proof of that is the sheer number of copies that exist. This is not made up. This number is not made up. If you had time and resources, you could access a picture or a glimpse of all these copies here. So this is not just a random number. These exist. The ancient copies exist. And what we're saying is there's something to be said about the fact that the Bible has way more copies than any other source of any other author anywhere, right? It points to the fact that the ancient world didn't see the Bible as boring, didn't see the Bible as fairy tales. They saw it as the absolute truth of God, right? To copy it this many times is highly impressive. You guys have heard of the 7 wonders of the world, I'm guessing?
Yes.
What's one of the 7 wonders of the world?
There's one like Dubai.
What is it?
It's like, for us, there's like something or something like that.
It's a building, right?
A lot of them are buildings. Can anyone name any of the 7 wonders of the world? There's a point with this. Does anyone know what one of the 7 other wonders of the world
The
is?
tallest building. Is one of them the tallest building?
Let me give you a hint. I think you are onto one of them. There's a more generally known one. What's in Egypt? Pyramids? I'm mentioning this is not a class on history or Egypt or pyramids, but this is a point. The point is that if you've ever wondered or thought or seen pictures of pyramids, how intricate they are, and if you understand how big they are, how in the world did the ancient people build something that big and complex without the modern day technology that we have? That's why it's called one of the 7 wonders of the world. It's this crazy feat by an ancient generation. I'm saying to you that the fact that there are 24,000 copies of the New Testament should also be seriously considered to be one of the 7, the 8th wonder of the world. Like this crazy feat by an ancient generation, because what's going on is, if I assigned this to you, I think I said this yesterday, if tonight's homework, it's not. If tonight's homework, if I did this, if tonight's homework was, okay guys, I'm going to show you where you can access the Greek New Testament, the original language. I want you to copy word for word, line by line, point by point, just one chapter from Matthew. Okay? The assignment is to come to school tomorrow with a separate sheet of paper, and what you're doing is you're reading the original copy, and then you're literally just copying it down, not copy and paste, but you're writing it by hand. And what you would find really quickly how difficult that would be, which points to how serious the ancient world took the Bible, how much focus it took, how much effort it took, right, to write this many copies. It's very impressive. It is. Hopefully you're getting this point. On top of that, there's a number here in this paragraph that Jackie just read, 99.5. What does that number represent in this paragraph? This is the second point that's super important. 99.5 represents what in
Manuscripts that
this?
match up.
Raise your hand, guys. 99.5% represents what in this paragraph? Okay.
Oh, the manuscripts that match up.
So, of the 24,000 copies, which is a lot, if you compared all of them, if you had the ability to look at all 24,000 at one time, and you carefully compared them all, which would take forever, but theoretically, if you had enough time and resources to do it, you could do it. what you're gonna find is 99.5% of all the 24,000 are identical. They're exactly the same. Why is that important? It's extremely important, but why is that important? That all 24,000 copies would be 99.5% identical, why is that important? Abby?
Because nobody changed it, so it's probably more true.
Bingo. What you don't have here is a change message. You have a message that's been carefully preserved, which also speaks to a point that Abby said earlier. They see this as extremely important, which is why they're spending so much time copying it, and they're spending so much effort and focus carefully copying it. And what this should mean to you today is this fact right here should give you confidence that the Bible that we read today is the same exact Bible that they read 2,000 years ago, which is quite a feat, that somehow through history this message has been preserved. It's a very, very important and powerful fact. So you're not reading something here that they wouldn't have read in their day 2,000 years ago. It's the same message. It's been carefully preserved. No one's coming and adding to it or removing it or putting their opinion in it. It is what it is, because they were carefully preserving it. 99.5% identical. Now you might be wondering, well, it doesn't say 100%. So of the 24,000 copies that exist, there's 0.5% difference. So some of the copies have some differences in them. What are, if you caught in this paragraph that Jackie read, what are some of the differences? What are some examples of the differences that in the 0.5% number? So again, we're talking about if we had all of these manuscripts in one spot and you're carefully examining them all, you would see some difference, some change, some variation, but 0.5% is a very small number. Of that number, what kind of changes are we seeing in the different copies of the New Testament? It's right in the paragraph. Some of the answers, some of the examples. What are some of the examples of differences? Abby?
A few typos.
Typos. Literally, guys, if I gave you that assignment where you have to copy Matthew chapter 1 in the Greek from the original source to your own piece of paper, if I gave that assignment, you would quickly realize how easy it would be to accidentally change the spelling of a word, to leave out a period, to add a comma where there's supposed to be a period. Like the variations in that 0.5% are minimal. They're just common errors like that you would make. Some of you guys make in English on your memory verse quiz, right? You misspell words that are errors. I don't take points off for that. I'm just saying it happens. I'm saying the ancient world did a very, 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 very good job of preserving the message, and all the only differences that exist are very, very minor, common, harmless mistakes. What's not happening is, as an example, this is not happening. Oh my gosh, 12,000 of these copies of the ancient manuscripts, 12,000 of them, 12,000 of these manuscripts don't have John 3:16 in it. If that was the case, if like 12,000 copies of the New Testament, of the ancient copies, did not have John 3:16, you could then justifiably, reasonably, logically think, oh my gosh, maybe that verse isn't legit after all. I mean, half the copies don't have it, so was it supposed to be there or not? Did they add it later? Did they leave it out in the beginning? Like, what's the story there? That's not the case. So I'm saying that every verse that we read is not made up, it's not added, it's not changed, it's not manipulated, it's been carefully preserved, which also speaks to how the ancient world viewed the importance and the the utter sacredness of the text. that should say a lot to you, okay? As an illustration of this, let's do this modern day version of this. So put your bookmark or some kind of marker on page 63 there. What we're going to do is, as an illustration, I want to show you how difficult it can be to preserve a message in today's world. Who here has never played the game telephone? I'm not trying to put you on blast. Maybe I should ask it the other way. Who here has played the game telephone? All Alright, so everyone knows how to play? Here's what's gonna happen. And again, this is a modern illustration of the difficulty or effort it would take to preserve a message, okay? In past years, I've given a message and I'll start on one side of the room. By the time it gets to the other side of the room, it's like completely changed. And I know that some classes had like one or two individuals who were deliberately changing it. So don't be that guy, don't be that girl. Don't deliberately change it. The goal would be to carefully preserve it. See if you can preserve the message from one end of the room to the other. What's gonna happen is, I'm gonna start with a message. I'll whisper it into Nico's ear. It's gonna go up and down the rows. You do have to mask up for this because you're gonna enter someone else's personal bubble, okay? We're gonna end with Jackie. Jackie's gonna tell me whatever she heard from Tanner here, and I'm gonna tell you what the original message was, okay? So let me think of something quick, and then we're gonna reverse it. So we're gonna start the first time we're gonna start on this side. The second time we'll start on this side of the room and then go the
Guys,
opposite
please
direction.
don't mess it up.
Let me think of a message.
Huh?
All right, here we go. Listen carefully. This will test your ability to communicate clearly and listening carefully, which some of you guys might struggle with. So focus and clearly communicate. Feet down, please. Everyone sit at your desk appropriately. Here's the message I'm giving to Nico.
I think everyone heard it. Yeah. No. I didn't hear it. I heard it.
Oh, you guys already messed it up, I know. I do.
It's already dead. It's already gone.
Oh,
Whatever you heard, carefully communicate it. Whatever you heard.
Come on, guys.
This is carefully communicate.
Wait, so I have to whisper in
Oh my gosh, it's so dead. It died really early over here.
I think Nico heard it wrong too.
No. No, no, no.
I should have changed it.
Oh my gosh, this is changing really.
Bro, Tristan.
Okay, don't make him forget it. It's already gone.
There's a lot of confusion here.
Dude said 2 words, bro. What?
Oh man, this is gonna be very interesting to see what we get over here.
I know it has black.
Carefully preserve the message. Let's see how well you guys do.
Peachy.
You guys, it's already completely demoralized.
Bro,
I know.
it's not.
That's
Out loud, TJ.
Almost done.
Man, what'd you say to me?
Bro, stop yelling my name out.
Yeah, what'd you say to
I
me?
don't like that a little bit.
What'd you say to me? I wouldn't get what I heard.
Here we go.
Bro, when it got to be
All right, here we go. I want to hear what Jack. What is the message you guys ended up with? What is it, Jackie?
Black Cat's Whisper.
what?
Black Cat Whisper. That is the message that you ended up with. This is the message that I gave Nico. The black cat sat on a mat.
What? I heard that.
Who
Somebody
got
told me floppy birds.
the black cat sat on a mat?
I heard.
Here's my question to you guys.
Oh my.
Where did that message die?
Right there.
No.
Right here?
Straight or
You said it was hat, not mad.
I heard that.
So
The
you-
black cat sat on a mat.
I said
All right. With the time, guys, sit.
You messed it up. You messed it up.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna try this one more time. Listen up carefully.
Stop telling
All right.
people to shut up.
I can tell you that the class before you did much better than that. So, second time, here's how we're gonna change it. There's two different things we're gonna change. One is, it's gonna reverse direction. The second thing that I'm gonna change is I'm not gonna be the one who originally gives a message. One of you is. A volunteer to give a brief starting message. A volunteer to come up with a one-line sentence and say it to Jackie. Go the opposite direction. Nico's gonna end it, and then he's gonna tell me. I'll be the last person to receive it. A volunteer, go ahead. Whisper it.
This is gonna be bad, guys.
Nothing inappropriate. Whoa, that's long.
Come on.
Oh, God, TJ. Did you say your name or something?
Don't mess it up. Don't mess it up, bro. That's perfect. That's so easy.
mess
You
it
gotta
up,
mess it up.
Ryan
I'll be
Cloud.
really, really mad. Oh my gosh.
Oh, it's funny? Oh, it's a funny message.
You sound like.
Baldy goes
sound like
to
you.
Whoa.
I told. Oh. Oh
No,
yeah.
skip him. He's the one who gave it. Nikki.
I was about to say I was like, I don't want to get.
Oh my God.
Oh, it died right there.
Oh my.
Baby,
Don't tell
the
them.
game.
I didn't even.
James, one more time.
Actually said it good this time.
Whatever you heard, clearly communicate it.
Bro, James is like.
I'm just gonna change it to the thing that I think TJ
James
said.
going.
I'm just gonna change it.
You gotta hurry, guys. We're running out of time.
Speed.
Let's pick up the pace a little bit.
Oh my.
Why is that so? Wait, what?
Uh-oh.
Abby, listen. You
One more time.
here.
One more time. One more time.
Stephanie, that's so fun. That's so fun. That's a different
I'm
level.
leaving. I'm not staying with it.
We should be able to finish it barely.
Come on, guys, let's go. Come on, hurry up right now.
Hurry up, I want to hear this.
Uh-oh.
Bro, it died with
Just be serious. Just go straight to Nico. Say to my Halo.
Yeah, just
and
go
to
straight to
Nico.
Nico.
We might have to skip a couple at the end here.
Yeah, you guys
Let's get me.
We have time. Go ahead. Keep going.
Go.
I promise, bro. It's gonna come out like.
Don't say it. Watch them say it.
This is gonna be really bad.
Well, it was a fun game, everybody.
Something changed it.
Tell Nico. Go straight to Nico. We gotta go to Nico.
Speedy. 1 minute.
Nico, come tell me. Nico.
Powder Puff TJ.
What?
Powder Puff TJ. What was the original message?
I said our powder puff team isn't good.
That's what I said.
That's what I said.
I said that to her.
All right. Here's listen up.
It all changed somewhere around.
Guys, ladies and gentlemen, the point is, communication can easily be changed. The fact that the Bible hasn't is highly, highly impressive. You guys messed up one-liners. What? It's okay.